everybody. My name is Joe Appello. Welcome to All Sports Talk Show with Joe and George. George Connor on my left. George, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Joe.
All right, ready to go?
Exciting times.
Big time of the year. Football on its way.
Yeah.
Well, pro football is on its way. College football has been on its way. College football this weekend. Did you see any games? Did you watch anything?
I watched a little bit. Didn't take the whole day off.
You have a life. I obviously don't, so I
have a job.
watch it.
But there was some big matchups kind of early. Big schools. Usually the powerhouses will play.
Yep.
Penn State played Appalachian State or something.
It's so funny about college basketball where if you play a good opponent in week one and you lose, it's almost like not you're screwed for all year, but I mean you're
pretty close.
Battle. It's tough with the way these polls go and stuff. But if you have a good loss or such a thing, you may be able to survive it. Like Washington against Auburn, two good opponents.
Yeah, two good teams.
They got to go into Washington and travel 2,500 miles to go to Auburn, and Auburn, tough place to play.
Yeah, no, Auburn's certainly a powerhouse, and they have been for quite a while.
Yeah.
Another big one, LSU had a big win.
Miami looked very, very weak to me.
Yeah.
Everyone thought they'd be pretty good with their defense coming back, and they have Malik Rozier back, the quarterback, but they didn't look like they had much juice. LSU always has athletes everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of them playing together. I mean, remember what years ago they had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham as their wideouts.
Yeah.
And you think with those two guys, it should be one of the best teams in the country. They were decent, but they weren't anything special here.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was another big win for them. That was on a neutral field.
Was it Michigan, Notre Dame?
Michigan, Notre Dame. Michigan's kind of an enigma. They're like 1-6 against Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Michigan State. 7 games. So I mean, they're in Michigan's lore. They've got to beat Ohio State, Michigan State, and fare well against Notre Dame. Otherwise, the season's almost a failure for them. Yeah. I think Harbaugh is really
2 years in a row and doesn't play well against those teams. And
I think Harbaugh is really feeling the pressure. I mean, he's not going to get fired or anything like that, but I mean, there's so much pressure on him, and he has a decent quarterback. Got Shea Patterson from Ole Miss. They got him as a senior, as a transfer, graduate transfer. So he dealt right away, but he didn't do much offensively. And their defense is always pretty good, but they're basically like they're 9-9 in the last 18 games. Michigan. Yeah. And they have yet to beat a ranked opponent on the road, so they haven't really, made a name for themselves.
Yeah, you got to figure he's not. He's got to turn it around, or
he's got all the bells and whistles. All the motivation stuff. But I mean, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, those teams are all so good, and it's a tough conference. Penn State just got by Appalachian State, but Appalachian State's pretty good.
Yeah,
they're not a pushover. So that was a tough game. But I
think Penn State is. I think they're kind of overranked early in the season.
I agree.
They lost a lot of defensive players. To graduation, to draft, whatever.
And you got a guy like Barkley, who I don't know if you can measure how valuable he is or was to your team. Guy that did everything, and you can always count on him. And then you lose a guy like that, and they'll obviously find a replacement. But it might take a while for them to get into that groove and find someone that could do some of the things that he did. They still got Trace McSorley, who's who's a good quarterback, but they lost their big tight end. But they'll be fine. I think a lot of times in the beginning of the year, you got to find your rhythm and mojo, and then see how you fare.
Yeah, and like you say, in college football, fair or not, if it takes you 2 weeks to find your mojo, it's too late.
That's why some of these teams
basically out of the conversation.
Yeah, some of these teams play these cupcakes that are just like, oh my, it's like not even a good. They have more competition. They had inter-squad scrimmage than some teams that they play, but the other teams get good money or X amount of money to play them and get their butt kicked by a named team. Which,
but you're bringing a huge amount of money into the system.
Right, like Clemson went over the weekend, and they have a quarterback. A lot of interesting quarterback situations in college football. They've got your established starter. A lot of these teams, they have a new phenom freshman coming in, maybe one of the top quarterbacks in the nation coming in to compete against these guys. So as a college coach, you're like, okay, I got my guy that led me to 12, 13, 14 wins last year.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good, but I got this kid that comes in that's electric.
Yeah.
Right? Do you throw the other guy to the curb and go with the new kid? Do you stay with the older guy? Do you still win? I think a perfect example is Alabama. I don't know if you saw in that game with Alabama. They're Tua Tagovailoa, whatever, I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
Tua was amazing there. And Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but when they were in a game at different times, it looked like a varsity quarterback and a JV quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, Tua can throw the ball all over the place. He's like a young Steve Young out there.
Right.
You know, lefty slinging the ball, he can move, he makes good reads. And Hurts is a good quarterback. I mean, Hurts is about 26-2.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years and a couple of national championships. But I mean, how do you
crazy when you got a quarterback that's 26-2, and you got another guy, and there's an argument to start that guy.
Yeah. And then what do you do with the other guy? He's a year older, and I don't know if you saw Nick Saban's an interesting coach. I mean, obviously he would be considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, college football coach ever. Yeah. But the way there's intensity and his demeanor and the way he handles things. The guy, he never smiles, never seems to be enjoying himself. And I don't know if that comes with the territory or that's the way he is or chooses to be or what.
Yeah.
But he never lets, even when they win a national championship, he barely cracks a smile. You would think that, like you guys got like Dabo Swinney, you'd be out there dancing and he's happy-go-lucky and he's totally different personality than Saban. I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. But I don't know if you saw Marie Taylor asked Saban about the quarterback situation after the game. He's coming off the field, and Tua was obviously tremendous.
Sure.
Tremendous that day, much better than Hurts, and you know they blew them out. But she says to him, "Coach, I got to ask a question. Who's your star for next week?" And he immediately went off on her, saying, "I'm not sure yet. I don't know why you people insist on making a tough decision and put me in a corner." And he just yelled at her. And she's like, "Okay, Coach." And he ended up calling and apologizing to her that night.
Oh, did he?
But it was totally uncalled for. It was just like, she's doing her job. You know, she's doing a good job. She's a good reporter. Yeah. And she asked him the obvious questions. I mean, if anyone in the world that saw that game knows Tua is better than Jalen Hurts. There's no two ways about it. Against some of these teams, you can have anyone quarterback almost because Alabama's so good. Yeah. But, I mean, in that situation, you see Tua is a guy that can take him to the next level. And they also, I think Tua's little brother's there as a freshman at Alabama, too, as a quarterback as well. Yeah. So, I mean, so does Hurts stay? Does he go? Does he hang in there in case, somebody gets hurt? They split time? Is he going to be happy? I don't think Jalen Hurts is a quarterback to the next level. No. So, as far as that goes, maybe he just ride it out. I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation. So that's kind of interesting. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Any big matchups coming up this week?
You got Georgia going to South Carolina. Okay. That could be an interesting game in South Carolina. Yeah. Big rivalry. I think Georgia's quarterback is very, very good. Jake Fromm, I think he's very, very good. Mm-hmm. And then they again the same thing as Penn State. They got to replace all these different guys, and it'll take a while for them to get there. They got this kid named Swift that's very fast, though. But they're gonna. That's a decent game. There's nothing earth-shattering other than that.
Yeah, Penn State goes to Pitt, which.
But it's in Pitt, so they played pretty well home.
Penn State's
rivalry.
Not.
Yeah.
And if you're really, let's see, it's actually good. 10:15 at night. UConn, Boise State, if you want to stay up for that.
Oh, and Boise State, yeah.
Yeah, you can watch the UConn Huskies on a blue field.
Well, UConn's something, aren't they? Yeah, they just.
56-17 against UCF. Now, I mean, that's probably arguably the best team they're going to play all year. Yeah. Kind of unfortunate that it was week one. Yeah. To set that kind of thing.
I mean, they were what?
The current. They were
14-0 and self-proclaimed mythical national champion last year, UCF. And they had a quarterback back. Milt McKenzie is really, really good. So
the Current ran a story the day after the game talking about the low attendance at the rent. Yeah. Can't really blame them. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's I don't know how you get excitement around that team.
Yeah, I don't know how you build that program. I mean, it's funny too. There's some of these big programs like Alabama and whatnot. Their facilities are just absolutely amazing. The weight rooms and stuff.
Crazy.
I saw one. I think it was Alabama. Actually, yeah, it was Alabama. I saw a special on them. They actually have a electronic device. It's like a square monitor that goes in the back of your shoulder pads, and they track your heart rate, your adrenaline, all that stuff, and to see if you're performing to maximum capacity. Isn't that amazing? They get a readout and everything. There's, scientific stuff that goes into these things. It's incredible.
Gone are the days of salt tablets and
and how you feeling? It's like, how you feeling? Let me look at my computer and say how you feeling. All the things.
Yeah.
Did you see? What's his name? Maryland came out with the Jordan McNair's jersey to get it that died at their practice a couple weeks ago, and they came out and beat Texas in Texas. So that was a big game. DJ Jerkin still suspended for them. So that was Texas, another team that kind of underachieves. Ed Herman's there, but college football is just so hard with some of these schools are getting 4 or 5 star recruits. Some get them, some don't, and redshirt and transfers and coming and going and injuries.
The way it's been the last few years, you kind of think if there's a 5-star recruit that doesn't go to Alabama didn't want him.
Yeah.
He gets everybody there.
Yeah.
He gets everybody.
I think the thing is with Alabama, if you go there and get any kind of playing time, you're going to get drafted. You're going to go to the NFL. So and figure you're a top-notch high school football player. What's your first priority? You probably want to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're saying to yourself, what's the best way? What's the quickest way? Most smartest way for me to get to the NFL? I want to go to Alabama. You're on the big stage all the time, play for national championship, hopefully, and then you get to where you want to be, and then you get the best facility. But so that's. I think the biggest thing in those programs is when they lose all these guys to NFL or whatever, you just got to plug all these other guys in and they get their chance. And a lot of times the guys at your practice are better than the guys you're going to play on Saturday. That's the hardest part about it. Back to the point with Clemson, for instance, Kelly Bryant was their quarterback the last 2 years, and he succeeded Deshaun Watson, and it's good. But they got this other kid, Trevor Lawrence, who's a freshman, came in. I think he might have been the top-rated quarterback in the country as a senior last year. He comes in, he's 9 for 15, 137 yards, 3 touchdowns in their win. And there's the same thing Alabama's facing. You got this freshman coming in that's lights out, and you got the other guy, the incumbent, that's pretty steady, but is he going to take you to the promised land? So that's always a tough. Obviously, you got 12 weeks to go. Obviously a long way to go, and we'll see a lot of things could happen. But Bryce Love was held in 29 yards on 18 carries in their game against Utah State. That was interesting. But KJ Costello passed for 334 yards and 4 touchdowns. So it looks like they were stuffing a box against him and stopping Bryce Love, keying on him and gave up some room on the edges, and Costello took advantage of that. So now Ohio State, they came and they romped. They were 77-31.
Somewhere out Western team, was it?
Yeah, they played. They played Oregon State. I think Oregon State was 0-12 last year, so it was like a glorified scrimmage. Yeah. But this kid Dwayne Haskins.
But that's 30% of his suspension. So,
And then he gets suspended, right? And he's allowed to come back on Sunday morning to practice.
Yeah.
So he can practice all week long.
Just can't be at the game.
Can't be at the game. What? How does that make sense, though?
The whole thing.
That's the whole thing. That the penalty, and then Zach Smith was saying he never touched her, and this and that, and they're going back. And I don't know. You can talk forever about these situations, but it's. Well, Dwayne Haskins is an interesting quarterback. He's a sophomore at Ohio State, and he's the real deal. They had Joe Burrow, who was the incumbent, going to take J.T. Barrett's spot as a quarterback. He transferred to LSU and got immediate release where he could play right away. So he started for LSU against Miami. He looked pretty good. And he probably was there and said, I'm not going to be out this guy Haskins. I'm out of here. I'm not going to play again. So he left. This guy, Will Greer on West Virginia, looks like a top-notch quarterback. He might be one of the top quarterbacks to go in the next year's draft. He's a good player. He had 5 touchdowns. He had 429 yards against Tennessee, who was pretty weak, but they're trying to rebuild. Then you got this Ed Oliver from Houston, his defensive tackle. He had 13 tackles, 3.5 tackles for losses, and a couple pressures. So but against Rice though. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But it was a good opening week to watch. It was a lot of fun watching. It was good to be back. Oklahoma romped again. They have a quarterback is Tyler. I think his name is Tyler Murray. He got drafted by, he actually played pro baseball all summer.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he was drafted by Oakland A's or somebody, and he got released. Baseball's over now. He's at Oklahoma. So he's obviously a tremendous athlete. So he's their quarterback, and they didn't miss a beat. They look good too. Oklahoma State romped. It's kind of the same old thing. The same old powerhouses are romping. What's going on with World of Golf?
World of Golf. Let's see. We're halfway through the playoffs.
Okay.
As of September 5th, the day of the taping. So they play 4 events, and they keep whittling down. So 125, and then the top 70 guys on the FedEx on the point
They're
list.
playing now.
This week. Finished this. They had a Monday finish, which I think is. I always said that I think more tours should do that. Memorial Day, Labor Day. Why not have a Monday finish?
Right.
So they finished yesterday, and Bryson DeChambeau, who's a very interesting young kid, won his 2nd week in a row. So top 70 guys from that one. They're actually going to play at Ronimink today, this week coming up, which is down right near Villanova outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Great golf course, fantastic.
Wow.
I actually got a chance to play there a few years
Oh, wow.
ago.
Nice.
I remember that. I kind of like it.
Nice.
So that's going on, and then then they'll go from there. They'll go on to.
After this week, how many guys will be left?
I think they get it down to 30.
30, okay.
Yeah, 30. So, and then everybody gets paid at the last one or whatever else, which is always kind of interesting because you always have one guy who's just playing really bad, and he just wishes there was a cut.
Okay.
Like I just want to go home.
Yeah.
You got to hand it out. You got to stick it out. So that's DeChambeau is the hot guy right now. He won 2 weeks in a row. Tiger Woods continues to play well and excite. He's just doesn't quite get everything going together.
He goes in streaks, right? Sometimes he gets hot.
Hit it really well, and then he didn't make any putts on
Yeah.
Sunday. And then like another time he'll be putting pretty well, but he'll be driving the ball just all over the world. But he just keeps getting better. Now, the world rankings is kind of an odd thing. It's the world rankings, the official world golf rankings is the title, and they take over a 2-year period. They take points. Now, Tiger Woods basically didn't play for 2 years.
Points meaning how you do in tournaments?
Depending on the strength of the field and where you finished in the field, where you finished relative to where you'd finished the year before.
Okay.
So if you play in something that you didn't play in the year before and you finish 4th,
so some kind of golf system
it's
that
huge.
they have.
Your points go way up.
Yeah.
So Woods, having basically not played at all for the better part of 2 years, is playing well. He's a lot of top 10 finishes, and boom, he's up to 26 in the world.
Woods is 26?
Yeah, 26
So
in the world.
where's like Mickelson?
Mickelson's 24.
Okay.
You got Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas are
This
the
is
top
for
3.
For world
golf
right?
rankings.
Okay.
Now, but again, they have these. In say November, they'll have some kind of oddball tournaments where it's like the Tigers Invitational, and there'll be 24 guys in the field or 20 guys in the field, and they get official world ranking points for that, which is it's all weighted and stuff like that.
Okay.
But so you take it
Sounds
all.
complicated.
Take it all with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But the way. If you're ever out there and you're going to play professional golf and you want to shark your way up the official world golf rankings, you just keep playing the stuff you haven't played in before.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down. So then the big stuff, for me, the exciting stuff in golf coming up is the Ryder Cup. Ryder Cup is played every other year.
Okay. Every other year.
United States versus a team from Great Britain, Ireland, and the European continent.
Okay.
So it's Europe versus the United States.
Okay.
12 players on each team. It's a 3-day thing. They play. Well, not everybody plays on Friday and Saturday, so you have morning matches and afternoon matches, and they can switch it around how they want to do it. But it's say 4-ball matches. There'll be 4 4-ball matches in the morning, and then if they play 4-ball in the morning, they play foursomes in the afternoon. So 4-ball is you and I we're each going to play our own golf ball.
Okay.
And we're going to play against Chris and Eric. And
okay.
So we play our own ball.
We're the same team?
We're the same team.
Okay.
Okay. You make a birdie on your ball. I make a par. Well, my par doesn't matter. So we made a birdie on that hole.
I take the lowest.
Chris and Eric play, and they both make par on their ball. We win that hole, so we're 1 up.
Because you got a birdie.
Yeah.
You got a birdie. Okay.
Yeah. So that's foursomes, and then in the afternoon, we'll play that's 4-ball. Then foursomes is alternate shot. So we would decide, and there might be some strategy to it. Okay, Joe, you're gonna tee off on number 1, and we might do that because on number So if you're going to tee off on one, you're going to tee off on all the odd-numbered holes.
Okay.
And out tee off on the even-numbered holes.
Okay.
And there might be some strategy that lets you're a better iron player, so you're going to play on some par threes, whatever.
Right. Okay.
And it's just straight alternate shot. So you hit a tee shot, I hit it from there. You hit the first putt, I hit the second putt, whatever it is. And
It was like two guys playing one
so
guy.
it's one score for the two, yeah.
guys.
So there's only two balls in play there.
Okay.
So you have 4 matches in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, and you repeat the same thing on Saturday. So you got 12 players on a team, but only 8 are playing at any given time. So the captain has to decide who to sit, who to pair together.
Matchup wise.
You know, who's going to, Hal Sutton a few years ago tried to put Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods to play together, and it was horrible, didn't work. And so there's always strategy.
Why not?
Just the personalities
Too
didn't mesh at all. And then there's the thought too of, it's a lot of golf.
Yeah.
And it's very high pressured. So these guys, they play golf every week. They're out there playing golf. But under these, it's really heightened excitement and things like that. And they show a lot more emotion. And I think there's times where they show more emotion than they probably should. They get outside of themselves.
Okay.
So they're exhausted. And there's enough stats to back it up that the guys who play all 4 matches, so you play both matches on Friday, both matches on Saturday, historically on either side of the no matter what team you're on, the guys that play all 4 matches have horrible records on Sunday. Sunday it's individual, so all 12 players from each team, and it's random.
Okay.
Well, not random, but the U.S. coach will decide this is number 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 12. This is the order that they're going to go out in. Okay. And the European coach is going to do the same thing, or captain's going to do the same thing. So they don't say, okay, well, Woods is going to play number 1. Well, we want Justin Rose to play Woods.
It's almost like a team concept within an individual sport.
It is. And it's one of the rare team things.
Okay.
So that's coming up. The 28th will be the first day of competition. Okay. So that Friday, 28, 29, and 30 is being played over in Paris or just outside of Paris. So yesterday, because the U.S. team takes 8 players off of they have a ranking system for Ryder Cup points. Again, it rolls over a 2-year thing, a little different from the World Golf Rankings. But the captain of the U.S. team yesterday picked 3 players, and he's got 1 more player to pick that he can pick like basically last minute.
Does anybody turn those picks down?
No.
No, you
never turn down.
Okay.
No. Now, keep in mind, they don't get paid. The players do not get paid to play in this. They get money donated to a charity of their naming, but they don't actually get paid. Okay. So he's got one. Jim Furyk is the captain. He's got 1 pick left over.
It's
a huge honor. Yeah. And guys, the announcements came out, and the teams are basically, the European team is basically set, and all the guys on the social media, the first timers are, this is a dream come true, or something I always.
Kind of like a World Series, Super Bowl type.
Absolutely, yeah. It's more of that than an All-Star game.
Right.
So Furyk made no surprises at all yesterday. He picked Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, and Bryson DeChambeau. Now, again, DeChambeau's won 3 times this year, but he's won 2 times right in a row. So he's the hot guy right now. There was no surprise there at all. And then that was yesterday. Today, Thomas Bjorn picked Sergio Garcia, Henrik Stenson, Ian Poulter, and Paul Casey. Paul Casey would have been on the team in his own right had he was not a member of the European Tour.
That's funny because the general layman, the general guy that watches golf here and there, you really never heard of any of these guys, ever. In general.
Garcia's won a major. Stenson's won a major. Ian Poulter is like Mr. Ryder Cup. He's a good player. He gets along okay, this and that. But boy, when it comes to the Ryder Cup, he can really turn it on, and he can flip a match. Now, in 2012, I was out at Medina on Saturday afternoon, and it was Ian Poulter and Rory McIlroy were playing Jason Duffner and Zach Johnson, and the U.S. is killing. They're just dominating. So I had to be out in Chicago anyway, went out a day early to watch. So I'm watching this match come in, and it finished in the dark. But Poulter birdies 15, 16, 17, 18, and he had to birdie all those holes to win the match. Did win the match, and you could feel the momentum or the excitement in the crowd just flip over to that. So Poulter's really good match play player.
And he's not way up on the rankings. Paul Casey is 16th on the world rankings. Henrik Stenson's 22, and Sergio Garcia is number 30 in the world rankings. So they're solid players.
Okay.
And they've got a lot of Europe's got a number of first-time players on the Ryder Cup team. So I think if you were in Vegas or some other state that has legalized sports betting, I would say the odds would probably be in the favor of the Ryder Cup. But it is
entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only.
Right.
But it is, it's a home game for Europe in a sense. It's being played over there.
Okay.
But so it's exciting. It's always, to me, I think it's probably the. I'm going to go ahead and say the 3 most exciting days in the golf calendar, which for you might actually keep you awake.
All right, changing gears a little bit, I want to tell a little story. My facts are probably, I don't know how factual they are, but they're generally decent. I was watching E018 this past Sunday, and they told a story about this guy, and his name is Dylan McCullough. And he was a high school football player, good running back, very good player. Not the best player, not the best running back in the country, but decent enough where he dominated at that level. It's a high school in Ohio.
Okay.
And he's being kind of recruited by a few schools, but nothing great. And one day he's just in class, and this cherry red car pulls up. I don't know if it was a Mercedes or what kind of car it was, with yellow rims and everything else. And all the kids were like, who's that? And it was this coach named Stevenson from Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
And it's not Stephen. His name is Sherman Smith. He was from Miami of Ohio, right in their backyard, local Division I.
Got it. Yep.
Mac College. And he goes in and he meets Dylan, and they immediately strike up a chemistry. Mm-hmm. Dylan loves this guy. Guys, come play for me, and blah blah blah. So Dylan goes there, plays for Miami of Ohio for 3 years, actually 4 years, graduated, and he gets a tryout in the pros, and the third exhibition game of his post-senior year in college, he blows out his knee, so he can't play anymore.
Okay.
So now he decides to maybe Sherman Smith has moved from Miami of Ohio to various coaching positions, basically as a running backs coach in the NFL.
Okay.
So he kind of takes Dylan along with him, and Dylan does all kinds of different stuff, and throughout the course of this relationship, it expands about a good 15 to 20 years on and off. Dylan and Sherman Smith are close. They're mentors. Sherman's always there for him, helping him out, whatever. So now it gets to a point where Dylan becomes a running backs coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, Sherman Smith is 63 at this point. He retires.
Yep.
Okay, but they're still in touch. Almost every day they talk. So Dylan was adopted when he was a week old. Okay. And he was from Ohio. So he decides, I got to find out who my mom was, my biological mom.
Yeah.
So he goes through some channels, and back then it was a little bit harder to find out who, situation like that. But he goes on Facebook and finds this woman that was his mother.
Okay.
And her name was Briggs, I think, is Dolores Briggs or something like that. And he gets hold of her through Facebook, calls her up and says, hello, Ms. Briggs, I don't know to tell you this, but I'm looking for my biological mother. I think it might be you. Did you have a boy, 45 years ago?
Yeah.
He says, yes, I did. And he said, well, what happened? And she says, well, I was 16 years old. I was fooling around with a guy, basically what she said. Yeah. And I got pregnant. My mother said, you're out of here. You're going to go to Pittsburgh, and you're going to have the baby, and you come back in a year. And that's what she did. Oh, boy. So she goes to Pittsburgh. It wasn't bad. It was just back then, it was let's get her out of town. No one knows nothing. Nobody even knew she was pregnant. Yeah. She goes away for a year, has a baby in Pittsburgh. A week later, puts the baby up for adoption, and she named the baby John Briggs. So she has a baby. So meanwhile, this baby is Dylan. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's his real mother. So he's like, oh my God, so he wants to meet her. Sure. And finds out that she lived in Youngstown, literally 10 minutes away where he grew up, the whole life. Wow. She was 10 minutes away, right? So then he says to her, he goes, okay. He meets her and he says, who's my dad? And she says, well, it was a guy that I just kind of fooled. She's basically it's funny because she kind of fooled around with him. Yeah. And it wasn't my boyfriend. It wasn't anything else. It was just one of those things. Mm-hmm. And he says, what's his name? And what was his name? Sherman Smith. Wow. That was his father.
Wow.
His college coach, his mentor,
And
his
Sherman
best
Smith
friend,
had no idea.
no idea. He had no idea he had fathered the child. He had no idea what this woman happened to her. It was like one of those things. They hooked up one night, whatever, I don't know, circumstance. And he was on, they were in the same mutual friends.
Wow.
So now he's going to go find Sherman Smith and tell him, "Hi, Dad."
Oh, hey, hey, Dad. Oh,
And
by the way.
Yeah, so he calls him up and he says to him, "Are you sitting down?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "I got to ask you something." Because, you know a woman named Dorothy Brooks.
I know.
Goes, yeah, I kind of vaguely remember. And he went through the time and place, and he goes, "Do you know that she had a child?" He goes, "No, I didn't know that." He goes, "Well, she had a child. It was me. It was adopted, and you're my father." And she said that when he told him that, he said, Sherman Smith's very articulate, he could speak for a way. He goes, all he did was talk incoherently for about a minute. He didn't know what to say. But fell off his chair. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "Yeah, you're my father." And all these years they had this instant connection, this chemistry, this mentorship. And so now the next level is, okay, I want you to meet my mother after all these years. And then I want to meet my stepbrothers, because Sherman Smith has a wife and like 3-4 kids, and Dylan has a wife and a couple kids of his own. So now you got this big giant happy family, and they're all interclicked. So you meet each other, and Sherman Smith, who's a great guy, fantastic guy, he meets his, the lady that had Dylan, and they're fine, and they've been together, and then everybody's in a big family, a big giant family reunion, and it was just amazing. Can you imagine that? The odds of
incredible.
that?
Yeah.
True story. That was his father. He said he pulled up to the high school to recruit him, and he said as soon as he saw the guy, he said he just felt a connection.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
That's a great story.
That's the weirdest thing I ever heard, yep. So now they're all lovey-dovey, and Sherman Smith retired happy. It's a great story. Great story. That was pretty neat.
Very cool.
Okay, now the Mets.
Now that was what did you say?
That was E60.
E60.
It's an hour-long sports show on Sunday morning, like 9 to 10.
Okay.
And,
on ESPN?
ESPN. It's who does it? Jim Bobley does it.
Oh, he's been great for years.
Yeah, he does. And
he's like he always does the outside the lines and all that.
Yeah, he does all that, and they profile no kind of sports story. Like they did a story with Mike Evans, how Mike Evans' father was killed by his uncle and things like that. So they do some pretty neat stories. They'll talk about. They did a story last week also with the same episode, was about a kid that was the camera guy for Notre Dame, and he was up on the scaffolding, and he was filming a practice, and the wind.
Oh, I remember that.
The wind blew over and killed him. Yeah. That was half the hour, and then the other half was Dylan McCullough. But that was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
The whole story. But anyway, they do specials like that all the time. Now let's do a little baseball. Yankees. Now the Yankees are basically just fighting for a wild card now. I mean, they're up 2-3 games on Oakland, but Oakland's coming fast.
Yeah,
they're a good, hungry young team.
Yeah, it's kind of been that 2.5 to 4 game lead.
Yeah,
it seems like for a month now. So Oakland can't quite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they're making up ground now. They beat, the Yankees won last night, but Oakland won the first couple. Yankees made a couple of moves. They got Echeverria, who's a shortstop, good fielder. They got him. I guess they think that Didi's not going to be back for a little bit.
Yeah.
With his heel. And they got Andrew McCutchen from the Giants to play right field until Judge gets back.
Now, McCutchen, he was originally a Pirate, I think.
Pirate, and he went to the Giants, and then he was a former National League MVP like 3 years ago, 15, I think it was. Good player. It was funny because he had to shave his beard. Because he had a beard. He had to go. He said he was holding his kid, and his kid's looking at him like, "What are you doing shaving your beard? Who are you?" That was funny, yeah. So he's back. He's playing right field. He was back, actually, he's back fourth. I think he was back cleanup last night, third or fourth last night. So they got him out there. Gleyber Torres, like he started to hit the ball again. He was American League Player of the Month or something last month. So he's starting to hit the ball. Andrew Hart's been consistent. He's batted about 300, 22 home runs. He's been a blessing from day one. Now they're playing Luke Voigt a lot, first base. I think they've had enough of Greg Bird.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy just can't. He comes up with all these excuses and this and that, and he's a good hitter, but He was 8 for 75. As the last 8 for 75 until this week, and 3 for the last 40. I mean, come on. I mean, I think you and I could do better than that. Just get in there once in a while. Just close your eyes and swing. You know what I mean? My God.
Slap at it.
Yeah. So they picked up Luke Voigt from the Cardinals, and he had 2 home runs the other night. I mean, he provides a little. He's like a football player. He's like a Shane Spencer was when they made that run years ago.
Yeah.
And he's big and strong and enthusiastic. Plays decent first base, and they've been playing. They've been playing him against righties too, instead of putting Bird in there against a righty. So I think they're at the point where, you know what, they go with that hand, and Bird, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. But yeah, so I think that ship has finally sailed for them, which I was glad to see, because I just Bird, I don't know what he's missing, but he's like, oh, I'm working hard and got to stay the course, and it's baseball, and what are you going to do? His attitude, I guess that's the way to look at it. He's supposed to jump off a building? Well, I don't know. Yeah. So they're playing okay. I think Lance Lynn has been exposed. He's an average pitcher. Jay Happ's good, though. I think Jay Happ's a legitimate lefty, tough. Bullpen, now you got to remember, they got Judge is out, Didi's out, and Chapman. You got 3 all-star players. Haven't played the last 3-4 weeks. I mean, you take the best 3 players off Red Sox or some of these other teams, see what they do. So I mean, everybody forgets about that. I mean, it's a game of attrition, but yet at the same time, they've really absorbed it. They're obviously gearing toward the stretch run, probably the last 2 weeks of September, where they get Judge healthy and Didi back, and then they're going to make their move. And unfortunately, they probably have a 1-game playoff. And see what happens there.
It's kind of a that's basically all they can hope for.
What it is.
They're not going to catch the Sox. The Sox.
Yeah, they'll have a home game, 1 game. Winner advances. And that's it. So unfortunately, you get 162 games, comes down to 1. But that's the way it is. I was watching the Mets last night. The Mets are playing pretty well, a lot better.
Yeah, they've
playing better.
They scored I don't know if it's still the case, but for a while there, they've scored more runs after the All-Star game than any other team, which is just absurd.
He said they had the 2 big games. They scored.
Yeah, I think they scored. They had a 16-run game, and
40 runs in 2 games,
and then they had a doubleheader the next day, and they scored 25, and then 6 or something like that. So almost 50 runs.
But still.
But DeGrom is.
It's incredible.
He's 8-8 right now.
See the Dodger game the other night when he held the one run and drove in the only run? He got no decision on that. They ended up winning. But he's
8-8. He's got a 1.68 ERA.
Now they compared Scherzer, DeGrom, and Aaron Nola, the 3 of them statistic-wise. I guess Scherzer's like 16-6. DeGrom's 8-8, and then Nolan's like 15-4. I think Scherzer might have a few more strikeouts.
Zach Wheeler's got he's pitching well. He's got a 3.3 ERA, and he's 7-1 in his last 8 starts.
Syndergaard's like 9-3. I mean, they're not that far away. They're really not.
And then you take the night off if DeGrom's on the bump.
And then they haven't had Cespedes all year, who's arguably their best player. I mean, they're really. I mean, Jeff McNeil's been hitting the ball nice. Second base at 313.
Yeah, I think he's up to 318 now.
And he hits lefties as good as he hits righties, even better, which is amazing.
Rosario's still not hitting. He's up to 255, but he's starting to steal some bases.
And plus, you can see him as a leadoff hitter. He's getting a little bit better every time. Defensively, he's very good.
Finally stealing bases, because I think we talked about it on the show. I want to say it was late May before he had a stolen base.
He was flash. He's fast as heck.
50 games in.
And I like Jay Bruce at first base. I think that was a good move. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not a 5-year plan, but I mean, I think they're going to look at him to play first base next year. Start out that way, then because I think they like Nemo and Conforto. And Cespedes will be back. The 3 in the outfield, and it's not bad. They need a third base. Now Frazier is a great guy and a great teammate and all that stuff, but
he just doesn't get it done.
He's serviceable. That's about it. I don't know what else they got. They got that kid named the guy that got hurt. Nick Evans was playing 30s. He's another young guy. Then they got the Peter Alfonso thing. You read about that guy?
No.
Peter Alfonso was the first baseman from Florida State. He's like 23. He had 33 home runs and 120 RBIs in the minors this year in AA and AAA. tore it up. In fact, he ended the season with a walk-off 2-run homer after the last minor league game. And they're not bringing him up for the fall, for the 40-man call-up that they can do in September. And there's a couple reasons for that. From what I understand, it's kind of complicated. But if they bring him up now, it starts his major league tenure, and they lose like a year of control over him.
Okay.
Similar to what happened to Chris Bryant when he came up. I remember Chris Bryant was a Herald next big prospect for third base for the Cubs, and they held him out to the second or third week of April, where now he becomes 5 years.
Yeah,
it's kind of complicated, but I think it's what they're doing with Alfonso.
And that's all that, the options and this and that. Yeah. And that's, that's we sit here and say, well, why don't we bring up this guy, bring up this guy, bring this guy?
It's not that.
Because we're not the smartest guys in the room. Well, we might be the smartest guys in this room, because we're alone in this room, by the way.
We're the only ones in the room. Well, the thing is that, the public doesn't understand all the intricacies with the economics and the contracts and all that kind of stuff. So I think, and in theory, why bring him up? So for 3 weeks he goes crazy and he bats 400 and hits a million home runs. Okay, you kind of know that already, I would think. And he's still playing the fall league in Arizona, and then you start him out in spring training. Maybe it's your potential. I think he bats right-handed, so I think you can also platoon Bruce and him if you need to.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll play second. Short, and then third base. I guess if you have Frazier play third and bat him ninth, that's fine. I mean, eighth or ninth, what's the difference? Yeah. And Cespedes is healthy, then you got and you still got 4 great pitchers. Steven Matz is not that far away. Then you got Wheeler.
Wheeler's fantastic. Yeah. DeGrom.
And then you got Syndergaard and Seth Lugo out of bullpen's fantastic too.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo's tough.
Yeah. I mean, as bad as the record is, there's 13 back, 13 and a half back, or something like that. There's signs there, and I'm never going to say the Wilpons know what they're doing, but it's all's not lost in Flushing.
I know he's going to be second fiddle to the Yankees no matter whatever they do. So I had the Jets to the Giants.
In the late 80s, it wasn't the case, though.
True.
The Mets were the team of New York in the late 80s.
Well, all those bad boys they had. That was a fun team to watch.
Sure was.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They had a good time, those guys.
Yep.
But the Mets, Red Sox keep on trucking. They just keep on doing their thing. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and then lose once in a while to some decent teams. But they're tough. Boy, they're tough too. And the Astros are starting to play pretty well. This guy, Alex Bregman's got 28 home runs.
Yeah,
that's freaking amazing. I mean, another guy came from nowhere. But baseball is going to come down to the end again.
Always. Yeah, a couple one-game playoffs
and baseball is almost like there's so much parity. Anybody can win, and whoever gets hot, pitchers get hot.
Oh yeah,
at the right time.
Yeah, I can remember back in 06. The Mets were one base hit from Beltran away from going, and everybody's saying, well, it doesn't matter because if the Cardinals go or the Saints go, I think it was it Cleveland or was it? Nah, but anyway, it was nobody's going to beat Detroit or whatever else.
Yeah.
Well. Cardinals went and won it in 5 games.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why they play the games. Right?
That's why. That's
why they play the games. Mark
that
down.
They play the games.
That's right. Play to win the game. So baseball. I mean, I think the Yankees are doing the right thing. though. They're not pushing Judge. They're not pushing Didi, and let them fully recover. Hopefully, and then now the next thing is how game ready they're going to be by the end of September.
Well, at some point you got to get
you get your reps in. You got 2 weeks to go, and then hopefully
you can't not do anything and then just go ahead and put them on the playoff roster. You got to kind of assess where they are.
Yeah. But baseball is fascinating. Way some of these guys come in for a week or 2 weeks, and and you get somebody else. And one guy suggested, it was pretty neat. Some people suggested that the 40-man roster is kind of really hurting baseball in September because some of these teams that have literally 15 pitchers in the bullpen. Yeah, that's what Oakland had the other night. They had 13 pitchers in the bullpen. So you had lefty, right, every other game's like 9 hours long. Whereas the Yankees didn't do that. They didn't bring up all those guys. Mm-hmm. But some people suggested, one guy suggested they should only expand to like 30 guys total. But you could change those guys all the time. So in other words, like 5 extra, almost like a taxi squad. I wouldn't want 40 guys in that locker room. That's got to be ridiculous.
Maybe that's why there was a fight in Tampa Bay. Too many people. It was crowded. Guy got tired of waiting for the shower.
We took his locker. That's mine. No, it's not. Yeah. Big Paul. Yeah, I mean, but that's why they've always done it. You know, forever and ever, and it's supposed to be like a tryout for the young guys. You see this kid, the kid that plays third base for Oakland, this guy Chapman. Oh my God, this guy has. This guy takes the ball and throws it. Goes. He's like a laser at first base. Yeah. And he's having a good year offensively too. I guess him and Nolan Arenado are the two best young third baseman the game has almost ever seen. This guy Chapman is unbelievable. He took a ball last night, the ground ball right to him, and he gunned to the first base about 20 feet over the first baseman's head. I got first one. His arm was so strong that it took off like a rocket. Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, he's something else. Oakland's got a nice little team though.
Yeah,
they got a nice little team.
Yeah, and they're hanging around in there, right?
Here's an interesting thing. Yeah, here's an interesting. Aaron Rodgers signed a historic $134 million deal with the Packers.
Okay.
He's now the highest paid quarterback. He's the highest paid quarterback in the league. I think he's the highest paid player, right?
A few months ago, that title was owned by what's his name?
Matt Ryan.
No, the guy from
Garofalo.
Garofalo, that's it.
Yeah. Well, right now, this chart I'm reading here, it says Aaron Rodgers gets $134 million total, average $33.5 million a year. Guarantee is guaranteed. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
$103 million.
Yep.
Now Matt Ryan is $150 million total, but his average is $30 million, and his guarantee is $94 million. So it's a little bit less. Kirk Cousins is $84 million total, $28 million a year, $84 million guaranteed.
The whole thing's guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. So
Now,
it's interesting.
think about that. You got Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, and Cousins.
Cousins.
I mean, Cousins and Ryan can they can't hold a candle to Rodgers, can they?
I don't think so. I agree.
You know, and I guess reasonable, but by those terms, it's all unreasonable. But Cousins is making significantly less money, but they guaranteed the whole thing, which is surprising.
It's incredible. Yeah, that's all key. The football is the guaranteed money. Like Le'Veon Bell is still holding out. He could sign for their franchise tag of I think it's $14.5 million. He decides not to do that and stay out of camp. I don't know what the guy wants. I don't know what he expects to get.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't pay running backs $14 million. You just don't. Unless they're franchise tag him, so I mean, but obviously,
there's too many quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, if he basically plays for $14 million and blows his knee out, then he's pretty much done. But I mean, I think it'd behoove him to sign a little lesser for more of a guaranteed contract. I mean, I don't know how that works. I don't know what their caps are and stuff.
Yep.
But it's just the money is so complicated and so. And then you'd be the highest paid guy one day, the next day, somebody else surpasses you.
Oh, sure.
Negotiates their contract.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Odell. Odell's the highest paid wide receiver now. Antonio Brown's second.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Evans is third. Yeah. So DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks is fifth. Watkins is sixth. Jarvis Landry is seventh, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And those guarantees are different too. Odell got $65 million guaranteed, where Antonio Brown only has $19 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's it really depends who your agent is, who the club is, and how they view you. And I think there's so much money in these franchises that they have the money. It doesn't matter how they want to spend it.
Yeah.
What they want to do with it. And football is weird. Football is funny because almost 20% of your salary cap goes to your quarterback. Whereas like other sports, you spread the wealth a little bit.
There's a handful of players on an NFL roster that are going to get the majority of it.
Right, but obviously quarterback's probably your most pressurized position in sports.
Left tackle.
Responsibility and could make a case either way. Now the Giants did something interesting. They cut Davis Webb. I see clear waivers, but
who picked him up?
Nobody.
Jets.
Davis Webb.
Jets put him on their practice squad.
Oh, I thought the Giants got him back.
I got it here. Hold on. Thought I had it here.
I know Hackenberg got cut again.
I thought I saw the Jets picked him up to put him on the practice squad. Well, go ahead. You were going to say.
Well, then they have they're left with Kyle Loletta and Alex Tanney. Alex Tanney's played think he played one game in like 7 years. He's from Monmouth College, not the one in Jersey, the one in Illinois.
Oh, that one. Oh.
Division III. Yeah. Last time we saw the field was 2011. I mean, he's 30 years old, and they got Loletta.
Yeah.
Who's probably their, they're worried that, I guess you can't worry about your quarterback getting hurt. I mean, somebody can't play for, but if he does hurt, then you figure it out. I guess it's probably more the philosophy.
Yeah.
But evidently, Davis Webb, they never. The other two guys
just got tired of waiting, right?
I don't know. The bottom line there. But the Giants should be. They open up against the Jaguars. The Jags. This Sunday. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
Down there against a tough defensive team. The thing about that is, you've got Odell Beckham, and you've got guys like Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott. They haven't taken a preseason snap, all year.
Yep.
They didn't play one game.
Yeah.
So, especially with the Giants, I think the Giants might have a tough time in Florida because the timing and the rhythm, they just haven't had enough working together in games.
Enough reps.
Yeah, that's tough against a good defense. So that should be an interesting game. You got Philadelphia and Atlanta tomorrow night, season opener. Atlanta's in Philadelphia. The Eagles will unveil their Super Bowl banner, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Eagles in preseason, I think they scored 11 points a game. They didn't do anything offensively. What does that mean? Who knows? They might come out and put 40 up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I mean, but they got Nick Foles starting quarterback. Wentz still not 100%. They don't want to take a chance on him, playing him right away. They still got Foles. Why bother?
Yep.
Still got him. So it's a tough opener for both teams. Atlanta's got a lot of weapons. They got Calvin Ridley. They got Julio Jones. They got Sanu. They got a couple good backs. So offensively, they're always good. But they got Matt Ryan. So
yeah,
I'm not a big Matt Ryan fan. I'm just not. I just think.
By the way, Davis Webb, the Jets did sign Davis Webb to the practice squad yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
But he stays in New York.
doesn't have to lease a different
go
apartment.
too far, yeah. Keep the same place. Yeah. So, now the Jets go with they traded Bridgewater.
Yeah, Bridgewater to the Saints for a third-round pick next year.
Yep. So they would
I think it was Bridgewater and a sixth-round pick, and then they get a third-round pick coming back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
yeah.
So now you got Darnold and McCown.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
I guess you could activate Webb off the practice squad if you need to.
Sure, there you go. Then you got Khalil Mack went to the Bears. That was interesting too. Mm-hmm. John Gruden said he didn't know anything about it. Didn't talk to Mack. I kind of find it hard to believe that you wouldn't even call out your superstar defensive end, your linebacker, your possibly defensive player of the year. You're going to call it, how you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the Bears. I mean, good move by the Bears.
Yeah.
And Oakland.
No question.
I think Oakland's going to have a tough year. I really do. I don't think they're going to have a
you
lot
don't
of
think
issues.
Chucky's going to work his magic in week one?
I really don't. I really don't. Tough division. They're playing tough division over there.
That'd be good. Actually, one of my friends from college is a huge Raiders fan. And if they have a rough season, that means that I don't have to listen to them yapping at me on the phone. Tell me how bad the Jets are and how good the Raiders are.
Okay, make one pick. I think the Eagles win tomorrow night.
You think the Eagles win tomorrow night?
They win by 7. Entertainment purposes only. George, good job.
Thanks, Joe.